Continuing in Luke's gospel, now Jesus sends 72 disciples out ahead of him. And these are not just preachers, right? These are not just people doing, acts of charity and social work and proclaiming good news and teaching and rallying the troops, so to speak. But these 72 are sent out for a purpose, right? They're sent out not carrying anything with them. They're set out on a spiritual journey to offer peace and to declare the coming of the kingdom. And in doing so, he's sending out people to cast out evil, people to cast out demons. And when we say things like that, our minds tend to jump immediately to exorcists and the movies in Hollywood of heads spinning around and the like. But evil is real. And those kind of images that we conjure up, that's all about possession and exorcism. But there are three ways that the devil detracts from us, attacks us, pursues us, right? Possession, oppression, and temptation. The possession stuff is going to be extremely rare, and the vast majority of people will never experience anything close to it. The main way that the devil attacks us is in ways of temptation. And so he sends these 72 out to deliver people from the oppression that the devil throws. And that's the way that the devil enters into our lives, by tempting us to sin, right? By twisting things that are meant to be good to influence us to do things that are evil. He twists good things and makes them kind of perverse and twisted such that they're no longer good, but they become evil because we worship them, or we make them into gods, or we take them out of the context of how God created them, and they become infected and pestilent with the devil's presence. And as we begin to worship these temptations, as we begin to allow these sins to creep in, you tell a little white lie and you rationalize it's no big deal. Well, then you're telling bigger lies, and then you're manipulating people, and you're committing fraud and all. Sin builds on sin, and it escalates. And as it escalates, that's where we move into that realm of oppression. And a lot of times, oppression is felt as a heavy burden. I just can't stand up straight in my own life. Oppression can be felt as darkness, as weight. But what it really is it's slavery to sin. I can't stop doing the things that I don't want to do. I know that if I take care of myself, I'll be happier. I know that if I eat right and exercise, I'll have freedom to do what I want and energy to live the life that I want. Right? I know that if I pray more, my relationship with God will grow abundantly. And yet what? I'm lazy. I don't go and pray daily as I ought to. I eat things that are not good for me. I drink too much. I spend too much time in pointless entertainment. Well, that's all the ways that the devil kind of causes us to die, right? Because when we fill ourselves with too much of that junk, we become so weighted down that it sucks the life out of us. But when we fight against temptation, what we'll find is that oppression lifts. When we pursue lives of holiness and righteousness and virtue, we're imbued with the Holy Spirit, and we're given the gifts and fruits of the Spirit. Right? When we have God becoming the source of everything from within us, our lives become free. We find joy, we find energy, we find life. The spirit of being united with God, the fruit of that spirit is life. The fruit of the Spirit of giving in to temptation, allowing the devil to have his way, is oppression and heaviness and death. The good news is that Christ came to set us free, and it's specifically free from evil, free from sin. We are set free from the things that enslave us, that we can actually live our lives.